The second thing we're going to look at this week is the irregular verbs volo or nolo, and then the negative imperative. And you'll see in a few minutes why we're going to pair those two things together. Now, right before the end of last year, you learned 3 irregular verbs. They're already in your chart book, and we're going to add 2 more to your chart book today. So I think the first one's on page 13, and the next one's on 14. So let's look at Wolo. Wolo and Nolo. The first is Wolo, and the thing that you'll notice is that it only has 3 principal parts. And it means to wish, to want, or to be willing. The 4th principal part, which is missing here, is called the perfect passive participle, and it has lots of uses. We also have perfect passive participles in English, but trust me, you can't make this verb perfect passive, which is why it only has 3 parts. And in next year when we do perfect passive participles, you'll find out when we get there. So the second thing you'll notice is that the infinitive doesn't look like anything we've seen before. This is the infinitive, wele. And what happens is it's the stem that makes it irregular. The stem is V-O-L, wool. And the easy thing about this irregular verb is that the only weird spellings are in the present tenses, which is what I've given you. Every other tense, remember, is conjugated like a regular third conjugation verb. So keep that in mind. I've given you the present forms here, the present tense forms, and what I want you to do is copy them down now in your book, and then I want you to complete the imperfect, the future, any other the tenses that you've learned already, not forgetting this is third conjugation, and then you'll have them in your book when you need them. Now, the negative of Wolo is what you get if you combine known, right? Known, meaning not, plus Wolo. Okay, and that kind of smashes together in a combination that turns out to be Nolo, Nole, Nolui. So the stem is NOL. So this stem is makes a little more sense. And Nolo, Nole, Nolui means to not wish, to not want, to be unwilling, which is the exact opposite of what we have here and at Wolo. Okay, same rules apply. It is a third conjugation verb, totally normal in everything but the present tense. So again, take a minute, go to your chart on the next page, I think it's page 14, and fill in the rest. One of the things you'll notice here is that the regular not that we see with a lot, adverb that we see with a lot of verbs is here separately. But the words, there's some split, and so it becomes a 2-word. Another thing that I want to point out here is, look, O-S-T, moose, tis, nt. Same here with Wolo, O-S-T, moose, tis, nt. So get used to seeing the patterns of the things that are the same in these verbs, and it'll help you remember it a little bit better. All right, last thing we want to take a look at today is the negative imperative. And negative imperatives are really easy. So in your chart book, I think it's on page 17, is where your all imperatives are. In Latin 1, you learned about the imperative. And if you remember, the singular imperative is just simply the verb stem. So if I had the verb naro, narare, I'm just going to write the first 2 principal parts. The verb stem, remember, is just nara. So if I wanted to say speak, I would just use nara. Okay? So if I wanted to say, so basically this is you singular, right? If I wanted to say you all, or as we say in my class, y'all speak, then it would be the stem plus te. Same here. Wide, that's the stem for this second conjugation verb, means you look, singular, and widete is y'all look, that's plural. And I remember this was a little bit confusing to you last year, but now I think that you'll understand it. Now, plural imperative, te to the end of the verb stem. Keep in mind that third I-O verb stems end in a weak I, and fourth ends in a strong I. That's all in your chart book to help you remember. Now, the rules to make an imperative negative, meaning a command for someone not to do something, are a little bit different, but they're also very simple. So the first rule is use the imperative form of nole plus the infinitive of the verb, the whole infinitive, not the verb stem. And that literally means do not even wish to do this. Don't even think about it. Because if you go back up to nole, do you remember nole? Do not wish, do not want, be unwilling. And commanding somebody says don't do this, don't want to, don't even think about it, right? So singular negative imperative is the form of nole plus the infinitive. So do you see here the infinitive? You don't have to worry about the stem or anything like that. Singular form is nole, means you don't look, right? Don't even think about looking. So nole in the infinitive is used for commanding one, and nolite plus the infinitive is used when giving a command to two or more. So nolite videre, same thing. So use the same infinitive. If that doesn't change, the only thing that changes here is, if you notice, the only thing that changes here is noli and nolite. So you don't look versus y'all don't look. And noli appellare, you don't speak, versus nolite appellare with the infinitive means y'all don't speak. So pretty easy. That's why those verbs are connected, and now you know.